Do you
Yeah.
I mean, just as we're wrapping up, do you miss singing at all?
Only recently,
Okay.
because I have an adult child at 23, and I have two young children,
Mm.
and at 5 and 3. Right. So,
Oh, goodness.
and they are they're like incredibly talented, and they see. So now, they're getting to the point where they can, recognize me in old 90s videos, and they're like,
Okay.
like, damn, dad, like it looked like, were their cars then type energy. Like, guys have, could you still call people? Did you still have a landline?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's the sort of ego and competitor in you that wants to show my kids, like, look, hey, I could still actually do this. But then I'm like, I don't know, could I actually do this? Uh,
Oh,
yeah, it's funny because, yeah, recently have I been sort of just sort of honoring the cognition that I have. That I heard Adele say this, like, where when she was getting ready to release her last album, where the label was like, well, what are you doing for TikTok during this go around? And she's like, nothing, because if everyone is making music for TikTok, then who is making music for me and for my friends and for the adults that I know? You
hmm.
know, if so, I'm going to be the person that does that, and that, yeah. So only recently have I thought, like, yeah, most of the even a lot of my R&B contemporaries, older R&B artists are, will try to make a younger sound, or who is actually outside of Adele, uh, who is actually making music for adults.
Yeah.
And that's it. So when I have these fleeting thoughts, sometimes I do think about, man, I should, maybe.
Would it put out a Carl Martin album and sing?
Well, I think now, again, it's a different business, and that's one of the great things about being able to operate in the business now, is that I get it. It's not an album business anymore. It's a single
Single,
business.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's no point in making a record that no one wants. Like, I think you know it would make sense to put out singles and see if there is an audience for it, or just
Yeah.
establish an audience that way. And then if it makes sense to do an album, do an album. But just like, like Kendrick said, sometimes just pop out the show, pop out the show, ninjas, that I could. So I don't know. We'll see. I like I said, I'm actively always recording. There is never a time that I'm not recording songs. Um,
But are you singing on the
working
songs
with
you're recording, or are you just making the music and
Yeah, I'll sing on them. I actually just recently um posted a song on TikTok that I wrote during the pandemic. I wrote a song um, while I was going through just the sort of weirdness of a pandemic and trying to emotionally figure out what to do next with my life, with my existence. I sort of realized that I'd never really sort of mourned my father's death. My father and I were very close,
mm,
and at this point, 6 years had gone by, and I met my now wife within the year after my dad passed.
um,
We had two children within like 2 years after that. So so much happened that, at this point, it's now been almost 6 7 years at this point, and I hadn't even really properly mourned my father. So just out of nowhere, in the isolation of COVID, just this, I just kind of just started writing about it. And yeah, and I made a song called Daddy's Legacy that I never intended to release. I just kind of sat on it. And then just for Father's Day at like 3 in the morning, I just got up and recorded something and then posted it. And that was like very recently, just like a couple of weeks ago. And not,
oh,
again, not promoting it, because it's not something that it's pretty,
personally,
it's
yeah.
not an exciting song.
Yeah,
It's not one to be marketed, but I think it was just something I needed to kind of do.
yeah.
And so yeah, that was actually my first foray in a long time of of getting behind a microphone and in front of a camera and singing something. So, and it was fun. And that's actually what discouraged me. My young kids love it. They ask, they play it, they sing it, they know all the words. So that that's kind of encouraged me to do it more. So yeah, actually lately I have been recording and making a lot more music behind the microphone.
Did you release it under your own name or did you use a
Yeah,
pseudonym?
just Carl Martin. Yeah,
And this is only on TikTok.
yeah. I haven't. I think yeah, it's on DSPs. I did upload it to because I have an arrangement with AWOL distributor. So yeah, I floated it. I floated it. So it's available on DSPs, but I've not promoted it at
Yeah.
all. Yeah, just a couple of TikToks because that was more so just kind of like a note to my dad and something I needed to kind of put there. I almost actually, to be honest with you, I've actually I've kind of put it there for my children, um, so that they can have that as adults
Mm,
to sort of um, to watch me process losing my father and sort of knowing it'll be okay to that eventually if and when they do lose me that they will be able to see me
mm,
trying to figure it out because I'm very 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 close with them
yeah.
also and you know and hopefully maybe having that in there for posterity will give them some sort of guidance in processing loss.
I think the reason I ask is because, I mean, most of us who have lost our fathers would always look at Luther's Dance with My Father, because there's not very many songs sung by a man about the loss of their dad.
Mm.
And I don't know if you know Daryl Simmons from Silent Partner with LA Babyface.
Oh yeah.
So when he came out with a Christmas album where he wrote and produced a number of years ago, and he sent me a copy and ahead of our interview, and there was a song he had called One Wish, and I lost my dad during the pandemic, and so when I listened to that song, it reminded me of my dad, and just reminded me of remembering all those memories. And when I spoke to him about it during the interview, he says his dad passed away suddenly, and he wrote that song for his dad. So I could relate to it, even though it was a female singing as the
Right.
song, but I could relate to it. And it was like, there are many of us, especially as men, and here's me, the therapist, talking, that really don't have that outlet to be able to grieve and mourn or talk about our loss, especially when we lose some of our father figure. And unfortunately, there's not much that we can gravitate to apart from that Luther one. So that's why I think songs like that are really
Wow.
uh, pertinent and very important for us to be able to, yes, be proud of that, but also probably reform our relationships with our own kids so that they don't feel that sense of they can feel a sense of loss, but they can say that, well, at least we had all what we needed to do. There wasn't anything we didn't say that we wish we could say.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful. I can 100% relate to it. That is the sentiment. So that that's what was actually really interesting to reconcile with singing something specifically. That was that I wanted to just put something there for any of us who are trying to uh, figure out what happened because um, losing my father, I'm sure it was similar for you because of the way it happened. Is it, it reminded me a little bit of sudden fame because suddenly my father was just there for 40 some years and then not. And then it's like, huh? So it 5 6 years in, not only am I not coping or mourning, I'm still in a state of shock a little bit, um, that this has actually happened,
Mm.
that he's not coming back, that we're not gonna just be able to get on the phone and work it out or whatever it is that that it is the finality of it. And that's what I wanted to do, was put something there. It's called Daddy's Legacy. It's on DSPs, it's on TikTok, but it's there. Not, and I didn't want to promote it. I just want to have something there if someone is looking to relate to loss, just to not feel so alone or weird, or that one of the things I talk about is one of the things that people ask you incessantly after you lose someone close is, if you need anything, just let me know. Let me know if you need anything. And I almost called the song that, and I will do a song about that eventually, because the irony of that is I have no idea what I need.
Yeah.
If I knew what I needed, I'd be off somewhere getting what I need, instead
Yeah.
of sitting here handling all these 10 million things that have to be handled before I can even recognize what's happening here.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I need. I don't. Yes, but you're asked constantly, if you need anything. I don't. Yes, if I needed something, I would call you, and chances are you couldn't give it to me.
Yeah.
So I needed that. What I needed to do was get it off my chest, and yeah. So I encourage you. Yeah, what was a weird thing that happened while I was making that was my loss of my father turned into something bigger as we go full circle now with this interview. Is that I sort of, as I was feeling the trauma of losing my dad, I was kind of feeling his trauma, and of all the things that he saw growing up, and that my ancestors saw growing up, and how all of that shaped who I am, and how it's something that I am looking to live up to. And that's why I called the song Daddy's Legacy. And I did for that reason, because as I'm in this sort of emotional stream of consciousness, that I'm sitting in front of my computer just trying to figure it out, that's what's coming. So as I'm sort of getting this song out about fatherhood and life, along here comes all this other sort of generational sort of much deeper feelings that came out of nowhere, that sort of working their way into the fabric of the song. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know how I got here, but to full circle around, yeah, I am now at the point where what I am making is now, I think, representing who I am, where I've come from, and all of the experiences combined. So yeah, what you hear from me now will be some sort of, combination of that and whatever silliness pops into my mind. So.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of.
And somewhere in between
us, or even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay.
They don't understand what those boys and men all
Play it.
And all these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.